All right. Wow, that was fast. We are live. Boy, they didn't play around on that one. My goodness. No All right. So we are back. Even though you told me we would not be back this fast.
Yeah, we just had
Explain
to talk
yourself.
this episode.
Why are we back so fast? Explain yourself.
Well, some people very nice.
All right.
Yeah, some people just don't prepare like others.
All right. So we are back. Bad Batch. Should we call it like season 2, episode 1, since this is like the one that we like? Like, let's pretend like the other two didn't happen.
Basically, well, I'll just refer to it by its name, the Solitary Clone. That's all I need. The Solitary episode.
I didn't mind that second one. That was okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we're here. By far. I mean, this episode is really quick. First part, we'll do spoilers. I give it the highest rating I could possibly give it. Honestly, like, this is Clone Wars original worthy to me. Simply because it's Clone Wars and there wasn't any shenanigans, no weird things, no Omega or anything silly. Everything was minimal as possible, and we just got an amazing story. Later on, we'll talk about some of the concerns I might have about it going forward. But that being said, pretty awesome. One of the best ones we've seen since, I think, in my opinion at least, since Clone Wars. I think it was pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm.
What did you guys think?
Yeah, fantastic. Easily the best Bad Batch episode they've done in general. And and I think that all comes down to Crosshair being the most interesting member of that group, and an episode focused on him and Cody really makes it worthwhile.
Yeah, I agree. The real what's the word? Dichotomy? No, the very contrasting Cody and Crosshair.
I have multiple degrees in history, not in English grammar, so we'll go with dichotomy or whatever. Yeah. We'll go with that.
But yeah, I mean, I'm going to give it a grade right now. It's at least a 9.
Absolutely. I would say that too. I would say at least a 9, 9.2, just because of what it did do that they didn't do a lot of in Clone Wars. There was like emotion, right? There was like
yeah.
I mean, even the background stuff, that big wall, I'm assuming that was like walls of names of
that was actually the people translated it. It's the only discernible word there was Geonosis, and the rest is all gibberish. But essentially, it's supposed to be a wall of fallen comrades from Geonosis.
Yeah, I would assume so. Yeah. And so, like, even that, the background, that Crosshair is somebody that I didn't know if they were going to do him right. It's like, oh, he's going to be some kind of stereotypical brother that fell thing. And this like sold up for me. Unfortunately, because of the way they've written the other guys, this is what happens. He's going to be, to me, the most interesting and my favorite character, because he was able to get away from the mess that's becoming the other Bad Batch guys, because they have to, they got to write stories. They got to put themselves in a bad situation so Megan can save them.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to make him super interesting. And it just sold it up for me because...
Well,
go ahead.
Well, I was saying, on top of like him being he's a free thinker. Like, he stands by what his choices are, but like still having to follow along with orders, but he's still making the decisions himself, which is much more interesting than, content.
Yeah, we could just like jump right into it. What I found interesting is it was almost like a day in the life of boringness, right? You hear the alarm going off. He goes get food. But then you find out all the rest of the clones that want nothing to do with him. Like, he's off by himself. He doesn't seem to give a crap. He goes into a supervisor. The supervisor, that guy is awesome. I like the supervisor because he's holding by it. You're like, oh, this is the most famous clone ever. And he's like, yeah, okay. So clone 57432-1. Like, he won't even bother saying their names.
No.
And he doesn't care. He goes, how long were you? What do you say? How long were you trapped? He was like 30 rotations. And he was like, and you came back. why? And he was like, because I'm a soldier. That's why. Like, it was such a crazy thing.
Man.
Like, it was such a good part of that show.
Also,
right
to think about that, he was stuck on Camino for 30 days. 30 days he was stuck on that planet before anyone came back. Like, oh, I think there's someone there maybe to rescue.
Yeah. And I also want to know how many things died in those 30 days he was there. Like, how many was there an epic
Right, ate some of the Camino.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Some of those Camino
remaining
went
Camino
down. There were a couple fish here and there. You know, he probably had to do something like that. But you know, it also makes you think he's already having some mental issues. 30 days of sitting there alone, burnt up, beat up. Probably didn't help. Didn't help his his mental status.
Yeah.
All right. So he says you're clear for duty. Go and do your job, soldier. And he says, cool, who am I, man? And he was like, sucker. No.
Yeah, you're not ready.
Super early on. I was not expecting this early on. Were you when you watched it? Any of you guys? Well, who
that Cody would be there?
Yeah, that Cody.
Oh,
spoiler, Cody.
I was surprised too. I thought it was just going to be a part of a group of just regs, like people, like not with clones. And then Cody showing up. It was funny because as soon as he walked up, even though like he's in a different color suit, he actually mentions it. He's like, yeah, I kind of got rid of all my yellow and orange. I knew right away it was Cody, and I was like, that's funny.
Yeah, I knew because he had a stupid antenna on his shoulder.
Yeah,
I was like, already? That's him.
What was actually was really funny. He walked up, started talking to Crosshair, and Crosshair's just staring at him like because it's like the same voice, right? So he's like, "Who are you?"
I kind of felt a little. I felt a little bad for Crosshair because I mean, you would think he'd be the commander of the mission, but they brought Cody in instead. He got demoted.
Get demoted live. But we do find out at the beginning that there is a governor who apparently was governor. We just mind our own business, and then the Empire was like, we want to get in on that. Do we know what they were doing? Because I thought it was like spice or something. Is that what they're doing? It has that weird color.
It was mining, but I wasn't quite sure if it was like.
It reminded me of Eric's from Andor.
Yeah, that's like.
So they're like, we're going to show up and we're going to take over. I'm going to relieve you of duty. Here's my first concern and first complaint. One of them only like two, and it's just a concern. I like my Empire arrogant, cocky, smart, scary, intelligent, got the strategicals going. And here lately, they're moving more towards whiny, scaredy cats. Like they talk a big game, but when the gun starts firing, they're kind of like, save me a little bit. And I like to go back to that more cold. If I have to pick up a gun, there's a reason why I have this spot because I can shoot you all if I want to, but I don't have to because I got groups. And it's not something that's happening a lot, but I started to get that feel, and it's kind of lazy writing when you get like that. I just don't. I'd rather them being cold. You can shoot them, you can kill them, but I'd rather them like sit there and they put a gun to your head and say, "Do what you got to do." Like Empire will kill me if I go back without doing this, so you got to do what you got to do and just stone face it instead of just. And it hasn't happened full out, but I just started to get that vibe that we might start getting some like whinier things, and the Empire to me is scarier whenever they just have the confidence. And that's kind of their downfall. Obviously, it was too much confidence, and they weren't paying attention to the little people. So, but that's it. That was my concern when I started seeing that kind of governish type guy. Like, you had to be kind of Sith, right? You got to be kind of greedy and cutthroat to keep climbing up the ranks of the Empire, not like So I was just. But yeah, so she had a surprise for the Empire. What was her little surprise?
Oh yeah, a little nostalgia. Yeah, those battle droids, I was happy to see them back. It's always nice seeing the B ones.
The commando droids too.
And the commandos, coming in.
Yeah, and the tactical one too. I forgot what that thing's name is, but the
the tactical droids. That's always fun.
She had a good stash.
Yeah.
But you know what I like about normally I would say that's kind of lazy. Like, let's keep bringing the nostalgia in here. But that makes total sense. They produce billions of those robots. Of course, some of them are going to.
They're separatists hold out, and they actually. I really like the fact that they said that. When they had the briefing, and they're like, I thought all the droids were shut down, and it's like, oh well, there's some get taken off the grid, right? Not taken off the grid or just rewired and reprogrammed, which makes sense because
totally makes sense. Yeah,
they are just droids. You can do that.
If R2D2 can randomly, by happenstance, end up in a desert planet reading the moisture evaporator things, then some battle droids can make it through there. So that's going to be their mission. They're going to go and like, you don't send Crosshair in, right? Unless you're planning on assassinate. You're not sending him in a rescue mission. You don't send that psycho in to make sure the babies are safe. You're going in to make a point, right? Like, I don't know how they were ever planning on having Cody and this guy work together, because Cody's going to go in there like we saw and be like, hey, we can work this out. It's not a big deal. And Crosshair's like, why are we wasting time? I can just pop her in the head right now. I got to do all this. So it was a little weird. They kind of sent those two in together. Like, kind of makes me wonder if they were not testing some loyalty. They're testing.
Well, that's why I figured they were testing loyalties.
Yeah,
going in there. But
But it was also good writing in that it compared the two.
Yeah.
That Crosshair was very militant and very much imperial. And Cody had reason. He had, decisions to be made, and obviously both of their chips are kind of screwed up. But
so before we get into, we'll guess we'll talk about what happened at the end, and then we'll get into the whole chip thing, maybe.
Yeah.
I will say I really enjoyed the action sequence on the staircase. That was a lot of fun.
I'll do this because that is actually what you're talking about. We can just kind of talk while this is going here. This is them, like in the video that we playing while we're talking. This is them storming the castle, as it were.
I have to say, I do really love the armor design for Cody, where it's just the gray colored, and then obviously Crosshair still has a fantastic kind of mix between the clone, like a Spec Ops clone trooper and like a Shadow Trooper from the Empire. So
yeah. Oh, I was gonna say that right away. Crosshair, like, they got me. If they got him in that full armor right there, Black Series. I don't remember. I think his other one was still in his original.
No, they did do that one. They had the.
I'll be going on eBay or Mercari or whatever and picking one of those up because I love his armor. I think his armor is awesome. Like, it's pretty ridiculous, actually.
Now, how fast do you think that Cody Black Series is going to come out?
Oh, there's already some 2-year-old kid in China pumping out the arms right now. Like, as we're talking, he's snapping on the arms to get it to us as fast as he can.
So honestly, great. I love that moment right there with the tank, just shooting it down the barrel. And then the staircase with the little. I love that we didn't see him use that much often, which was the little mirror thing he had.
Yeah.
He would throw around.
Yeah, that's neat.
Well, I will say, but this is any comic books, Star Wars, anything. When they do cool stuff like let me shoot a sniper shot through a barrel, I get he's one of the only people that can do it. But when you see that, you're like, yeah, we should have ended the war 15 years ago if we're just going to shoot. You know what I mean? Like, that's in every movie where they do that world. This guy, if you could just shoot one shot in the barrel and blow up the whole tank, what are we losing people for? But it was still a cool scene.
And what's interesting is that these it made you think these are the good guys. But
yeah, you're thinking the whole time these are the good guys. Yeah, when they're really they're storming
the heroes.
Yeah,
but they're on the bad side.
What I will say is how smart it was, like you were saying, the Cody design, because it like Cody is the one, and I'm sure they planned this, but they didn't. Man, that's an amazing happenstance, because Cody almost more, maybe Rex too, but almost more than anyone, we know Cody by his armor and his color. Like, we know who that is when he walks by, even if he's in his own battalion or whatever. And to make a point to show you that they are now getting rid of all that, and we're going to go to gray and white to eventually white, and we're getting rid of even the individuality of the individual things. We're getting rid of all that. It was just a stark thing that, yeah, this is different. This isn't the same clone troops. We are now fully into the Empire now. Well, we don't got time for all that yellow and greens and reds and maroons. We're all white, gray, or we're all white. It's like it's a very well done, subtle thing where you don't even have to talk about it. You just notice that we're now all moving into something else now.
Well, and with him not saying their names, just their numbers, it's like it's the beginning of the end. of the clones, and they're
their
starting the
individuality.
subscription because it comes over the PA system when he's there eating breakfast. Something about the conscriptions or whatever.
Poor Crosshair barely gets a bite of food each time he gets called back to the office.
Yeah, he never gets to eat. That's why he's so skinny, man. He never takes a bite of anything. He just sitting there waiting for his number to be called, and he was like, "Who needs food?"
Yeah. So ultimately, and then the end of the episode, or not the end of the end of the fighting, where it's the separatist governor with the
grotto.
Yeah, with the what's his name? With the imperial governor. I thought it was so funny once they kind of resolved it peacefully. The governor goes off. He starts calling. He's like, "Oh, thank you. Okay, now kill her." He's just freaking out, and it's like, buddy. And Cody's like, "What do you want?"
Yeah,
Tawny. I'm surprised. Okay, yeah, he definitely. I guess we're gonna talk about what happens, right?
Yeah, just full spoiler of the episode.
Yeah, and I would say that that is a thing that I would say leadership wants going forward, even in the First Order. I reference a lot when we would talk about that. Like Finn in the book is so much better than Finn in the movies, where they just made him into like a bumbling idiot. But one of the problems that Finn had was the First Order would say, if I say kill all 20 of these children, you kill all 20 of those children. You don't hesitate because I say so, kind of thing. And you can tell that when the clones are with the Jedi, there was still that, hey, we're supposed to be the good guys. There's no reason to kill everybody, right? We're just killing robots after all. And then you see this turn where now it's like the governor says, shoot her. And the old clone guy is like, wait, I just got her to say I'm sorry or whatever. And then as he's talking, boom, she goes down because the good soldier always follows orders.
Yeah.
So that right there showed you like the difference and what they want. Now, obviously, stormtroopers are more human than they would like them to be. So it's not always so, most of the time they're just the reason for why things are being shot. And so they're just kind of, stumbling blocks. But that's kind of what they want, is that thing that will shoot somebody without question and be done with it. So, So mission is successful. And we'll head back.
And miss. Like most stormtroopers.
Yeah.
So Tawny Ames is her name, right? And she, the governor.
Yeah.
And didn't she make reference to a Mia something? Who I looked into it. She has ties to Padme.
Oh, you know what? Yeah. I didn't know, but I did read something about that. Some kind of ties to there was something to do with Padme or something. Somebody was saying, but I didn't look into enough. I totally forgot to look into it.
It would have been good to go deeper into who she is and her background as far as separatists go. But that Mia, she was in the Clone Wars in the animated series, and so there's kind of a connection there. And I think her brother also is in there, and maybe we'll see.
What are you doing?
I'm not looking anything out, door.
Okay, because you say something like that and you catch him off guard, he starts clicking away on the computer as fast as he can.
I resisted the urge. Don't worry.
You looking it up? You looking it up?
No, I wasn't.
How dare you, sir? How dare you say curse words on my show? I saw the Omega Black Series go on sale on GameStop, and if it wasn't for the fact it would have cost me more to ship it than buy it, I would have been sending one to Canada right now.
For what's that word? Retribution.
Just I know that's your favorite. Yeah. I just want to do something nice for my friends.
Mia Bontari. Oh, there's always stupid.
Okay, interesting.
Pop-up videos. Yeah.
Yeah, Mia. Yeah, okay.
She was in the Clone Wars. Yeah. Anyway, look her up.
The so I guess we'll talk about the biggest part of the episode, or thought to it, is that clones are now defecting. Either they don't, because they have the chips. I guess the command went through and the chip was used up, maybe, and like it's just dormant. It doesn't have an effect on them. But like, I wonder how they're gonna go explaining that clones can defect now.
Yeah, I just need, I don't know, like, why do Apple phones die after 2 years?
Because Apple plans it that way.
Exactly. See,
the old Palpatine game,
ready for an upgrade.
Yeah, so I just looked it up really quick. Sorry, I pulled a cast person seed into it. She was a female human native to the planet of Onderon, and she served as a mentor to Padme Amidala on Naboo. They were friends. She was a senator in the Confederacy of Independent Systems.
Okay.
Yeah. So she's Padme's friend. So there you go. That's
I'm not
her.
A separatist.
Yeah, so that's my thing. What to me, I feel like this was a story that a Clone Wars writer was writing before they decided to make chips. Because all these clones that are like, you know what, I don't like this. Unless you're going to tell me, yes, like, hey, the chips have a shelf life, and that's why they're pushing so hard to get rid of them and bring in humans, because we know that they're only really strong to get them to do what we want to, in the first 5 years, first 10 years or whatever. Because if not, this actually would make a great story if they went back to the original plan, which was not chips, and it was just, they always knew what they were going to do. They always knew they were going to turn on them. Yeah, and they were just grained that they listen all the time. And then you have a point now where you're kind of like, because here's the thing. As much as I love seeing Rex and Cody, it is fan service, right? Like, I kind of actually like the idea of one of them staying on the other side. And now, like, all the ones we know and love are switching back over, or at least not fighting anymore. We don't know what's going to happen to Cody, but we assume he's not going to do this anymore. So that part of me was kind of like, man, I kind of wish they wouldn't do that to all the famous ones. But if they didn't have the chips, that makes a lot more sense, right? These are the guys who were closest to the Jedi. They saw that they weren't bad. They see what the thing's doing. And so, like I said, unless you can, say that the chips don't have as much power as they used to, I that's the only thing that's kind of makes me curious. As to,
maybe they got a virus, something.
Yeah. I did read somewhere that the original plan in Rebels was it like, I think they said it was something like 12 former clones were as part of that group that Ezra and them ran into, and they ended up only doing 4 or something like that. But the original announcement, I guess, when they first did Rebels, there was going to be like 10 or 12 or something. There was going to be more than just the 4.
Yeah.
And so people were wondering if this was kind of the story they had in mind, was why he might catch up with them.
So I was double checking the trailer for Bad Batch, because I remember when the trailer came, because you can see Cody clearly in it. I was looking if there was any other scenes with Cody other than this episode, and the only scenes you can see out of the 2 trailers are from this episode. And at the end of the episode, the Admiral Rampart says that, oh yeah, he went AWOL, right?
Right.
He went AWOL, and matter of fact, looks back at his tablet, keeps going, and Crosshair's just standing there confused, and then he said, "You can go, right?" Now, do you have any inkling that maybe that he didn't go AWOL and they just killed him?
Yeah, I was actually thinking,
killed him off screen because oh, he didn't follow the thing. Let's just kill him because he's a high-ranking commander of the clones who knows what can happen.
He's one of the last that we know of. I'm sure they can always write in another guy.
Or they detained him. They detained him, or killed him.
He's one of the last ones that we know of, right? They can always write new famous commanders. But as far as we know, he's the last one we know of that's that powerful as far as how he leads men. That well loved by his guys. He's probably the most dangerous clone left. He's the most dangerous clone commander left, I would think, that we know of at least.
Like he could easily pull a coup with all the remaining clones.
Yes, and they've had a rash of them either turning or not listening, and so it actually makes sense if they disappeared him. Almost said Clinton them, but that's probably not proper. But disappeared him.
Either he's been detained and he's in like essentially in like solitary, or or they killed him off screen. Now,
but it's in a way fan service. I mean, it's like everyone's wondered what happened to Cody. What's his story? This is his story. I think they're going to show it. They're going to say what happens to him, and I don't think he's dead. I think either he is gonna, maybe join the Bad Batch.
Oh God.
Or I don't know.
Part of me kind of hopes that they did kill him off, just because, like, I don't know. Do we need another one that's like, I'm gonna do the right thing and switch over?
I think my personal prediction is that they didn't kill him, but they detained him, and he's basically kept in solitary. And then whoever's gonna happen, basically Crosshair is gonna find him there, and he's gonna find out that he's just that whatever happened, and then ultimately Cody's gonna die, breaking out and getting everyone else out or something.
Yeah. Because if he's gonna show up in like the second to last episode or something at a bar, and he pulls up a chair next to one of the other clones or something, and they're reminiscing, that would warm my heart as a fan. But the cynical part of me was like, really? Like, you're not gonna let anyone die? Like, no one's gonna stay bad? That's the only thing, is that.
Yeah,
because then you definitely have that Star Trek moment, right? Where I don't know the colors because I don't remember how it works, but if you have like a red shirt or whatever, you die. So if they name you by name, you're safe. But if you're one of the people who are just the random guy with like a black streak, you're gone. Like they're gonna kill you off. But yeah, I thought this was an amazing episode. And honestly, I'm not that upset if the end of this season's over and we don't hear what happened to Cody. I'm not that bad about it. Like I wouldn't be that mad about it.
It'll be interesting if that happens. I mean, they would 100% try and follow up with a comic, I'm sure. But
yeah, or just you could tease that for another movie or TV show or something. You could always tease it.
I was gonna say though, I mean, yeah, in the end, this episode was great, and I have to. I hope that the rest of the series took notes from this episode, like thematically.
They've already made it. They already made it. It's too late.
I know, but
influence is nothing. It's going to happen for the rest of the season.
All I hope is you have like let me think of it like this. Like Halo, in Halo 2, you had Master Chief's story and you had the Arbiter stuff. I presume we're gonna have Crosshair stuff going throughout the show. It's gonna cut back to him doing his own thing, and we're gonna have the Bad Batch doing their stuff. And I'm gonna guess all the Crosshair stuff is gonna be good, and the other stuff is gonna be whatever ends up being.
My heart wants to say that when this season's done, when all that, I don't know how many seasons. Let's say they do. This is the last season. When Bad Batch is over, my hope is that Crosshair, he could lose an arm and has to replace it. He could be messed up, ripped up, tore up. But I hope that we don't know what happened to Crosshair when this is all said and done. And he might be out there and he's mad. He'll just kill either side. He'll kill anybody in the Empire too. What I hope, God, I hope, but what I probably is going to happen, he's going to have a redemption arc. And at the end, he'll die, but he'll die saving everybody. Brothers, I love you.
No. He's gonna be the only time when Omega fucks up and does something. He's the only one that's gonna die because of it, saving her.
Because I think he's good. He's becoming a pretty good bad guy, a guy that you're kind of like mad at because of what he's doing, and I want him to stay that way.
Do you think there's a possibility that one of the Bad Batch members could die?
No.
You don't think there's a chance any of them would die? They would all just survive flawlessly.
If Omega wasn't there, yes, I think most of them probably would have died. I think they would have had the leader like brood quietly because he's the only one who survived, and he would spend the rest of his life thinking about his brothers in arms. But with Omega there, I don't think so. Because they've just made it too, like, I don't want to say kidsy, but they just made it too like goofy where they're gonna kill off everybody. They kind of have to me, for like canon purposes and story. You can't be having these lunatics running around
like the Ninja Turtles, right?
Ninja.
It's kind of my argument that I had before we ever did this show with another friend of mine about the Rebels, when I was watching Rebels and I was watching it more than he was, and he was saying, hey, Masters, when he comes in here sometimes, he said, what do you think? And I'm like, I can tell you right now that at the end of this show, they all better be dead because Rebels has made every one of these people famous. Like the rest of the universe knows who these people are. And since we've never heard of them, they all better be dead before the end of this show.
And they did a good job, basically. Have them disappear, kill some, and then just have like one or two basically stick around.
Yeah, because you could have everybody that's not a Jedi stick around. That's fine. But the famous Jedi,
they got rid of all the Jedis real quick.
Yeah. They need to disappear pretty fast. So that's it. I think it's awesome. It gives me revitalized hope. I'm not going to watch the episode tonight after we do this with one eye closed and one eye open, thinking, oh God, when am I going to start getting mad and triggered? I get hope, and that's all you can ask for.
Yeah.
Hope. That's what we have, right, guys? Cannot be disappointed.
Yeah.
All right. Is that it? We have anything else?
No, I think that covers basically the episode.
All right, and then with my ability, PC genius and hacking abilities, let's just go straight into our part of the show that we do slides. Look how amazing I am.
We saved an extra 20 seconds doing this.
We got like an extra 20% of the screen too.
Yeah.
By the way, what is this? Where did you get this from? This picture?
I was Googling. So when I Google the backgrounds, I look up whatever it is, desktop background. And I looked up Crosshair desktop background, and all I could find was that poster where he's holding the helmet. But this is someone's Battlefront 2 mod, where they modded him in Battlefront 2.
Because it is so hard for me to find like high definition, high fidelity pictures to do like thumbnails. I end up having to download a video of the show and then take that picture from that so I get a high definition picture. It's hard, man. It's hard to find because when you try to blow them up and move them, it always distorts it and always makes it look weird.
Yeah.
I mean, I know there's stuff that you can do it out there, but I don't obviously pay for anything. Like I'm not paying for
Photoshop, man. All right then. So they had obviously we talked about Bad Batch. There was the character poster for Cody
in all his gray glory.
All his gray. Yep, we're 100% getting that Black Series so quick.
100%.
Yeah. And everyone's going to paint it.
They're all going to paint it. And then on top of that, we had when was it yesterday?
Oh, by the way, I forgot. I don't think I said it. This is the news of the week. Sorry, guys. We're just like suddenly a Mandalorian pops up. And
sorry. News.
What happened to our little intros? You left out the little intros.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna jump into news now.
Yep,
okay,
news.
Now we're back.
Sorry. So, anyways, Cody poster and then Mandalorian poster. The trailer came out. I thought it looked pretty good. It looked kind of like there wasn't a ton of new stuff, but it wasn't like new being like, oh, this is new story beats we don't know. Like we know he goes to Mandalore. We know Grogu's back. Yeah. So, are you guys excited to be watching this again?
Obviously, I mean that's what pays the bills. The Mandalorian. So
yeah.
Keeps Disney Plus afloat.
That's what's keeping it going right now. I forgot to say every Wednesday, unless Casper has some kind of thing he can't do, every Wednesday at 7:30 Eastern. Is that what? No, 8:30 Eastern. Is it 8:30?
Yeah, 8:30 Eastern time is when we start the
8:30 Eastern. We do this show where they were reviewing. Most of the time, we'll be character spotlighting. I'm gonna start saying at the beginning. I told them the other day. I don't think I've ever mentioned that on this show that we do this every Wednesday at 8:30 Eastern time. We should probably be saying that from time to time. Anyway.
So character poster.
All right, 1 out of 10, super fast. What's your excitement level for Mandalorian?
8.
7, but I haven't seen the trailer, so.
Oh yeah, you haven't. So yeah, he's a 7 without even knowing anything, ladies and gentlemen.
I saw the other teaser.
Yeah, I'm just super excited to see Mandalore. So
yeah, I'm excited for Mandalore.
Now this made me hurt a little because I shrunk my poll. I shrunk my comic poll list because I wanted to start saving money. And this gets announced. So Marvel has done a series called Black, White, and Blood, or Red or Blood, how they use it, where it's a series focusing on usually a darker character that ends up being the whole comic's black and white and red. They had started with Wolverine, then did Deadpool and Elektra and Punisher, and now they moved the concept over to Star Wars. So they're doing it for Darth Vader.
Wow.
And it's going to be an anthology series, which is going to have, I don't think they said how many issues, either 5 or 6. And it's going to be different writers for each of the issues and different timeline. Like I said, jump around the timeline. But specifically, one of the writers is going to be Jason Aaron, who did the original run on the Star Wars title.
Nice.
Wow, that's pretty awesome.
And that's the A cover there by what is his name? I am terrible.
So as I've pointed out before, only the Sith are going to have colored lightsabers. Everyone else is going to be white.
Yeah. And that's pretty cool.
Cool. And just so you know, Darth Vader, saw it here first, people. He runs based on cocaine. He's standing on a mountain of cocaine. So that is a secret to his power, not the Force.
That's sand.
Oh, sand. Sorry, I was misunderstood.
Oh yeah, that's
that's why he looks.
Somebody took off his mask. He's like breathing in.
So if I can pull it up here,
whoever your cover artist is.
Sorry, Alex. The first A cover is Alex Malev. Who did?
Is this the A cover right here?
Yes, he's a very famous Daredevil cover artist in the 2000s during Bendis's run.
Okay, well he could draw my Darth Vader anytime he wants to if he's doing that, sir.
And there are two
his lightsaber's red, so it should be red.
And there's 2 variants so far. There is on the left is Gabriel Dell'Otto, nice. And on the right is Jim Chun. It didn't say if these were ratio variants, but I would presume the one on the right might be.
Yeah, I like that more than the Dell'Otto. I know he's pretty realistic, but
the one on the right,
though, the one on the left did a very good job of not noticing that he's only using white, black, and red though. Like that's a really good job of like using that coloring wheel very cleverly, so you don't even really notice it necessarily.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm upset 'cause now I want to pick up the series, but I'm excited. I think I'm gonna.
How many issues?
I think it's 5 or 6. I don't remember seeing them specify because they only solicited the first issue. But yeah. Here's another one.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
So this is a one-shot.
The Devil Teddy Bear.
So a one-shot called Ewoks for the anniversary of Return of the Jedi. That A cover on the far left scared the shit out of me.
I'm gonna tell you something right now. I don't know who did the A cover, but that son of a gun's a Star Wars fan because he knows that we know them little evil ass bears are not cute. They are some man-eating bastards, and he knows it. Look at the devil's eyes right there. He knows.
It's hilarious. That's a horrifying cover. It's hilarious. The A cover's on the left, pretty great. The peach Momoko in the middle. I actually really like it. Minus
you shut your mouth, sir. You'd never say those words again.
I like it a lot. Minus the really depressed looking horse.
It's being eaten. Look, it's
Igor.
I'm about to say, as he said in our chat today, it knows it's about to get eaten. If you think of this poor thing going, I'm about to get eaten by this little devil bear. Now the cover's amazing. Now the cover's my favorite cover
because the Ewoks finishing up on his friend right there.
Yeah.
And then
he's like this, and he looks over at that right before this was painted. He looked over at him and said, "I'm almost done. Don't worry about it. You're gonna be next. Just give me a couple more minutes." He starts biting on his friend again. Boom, picture taken, painted. He knows he's coming.
Wait, so why is Rebo in the band on the other one?
And on the far right, so it's Return of the Jedi anniversary. So I guess they decided to make that one
cover.
Well, you know what that one is? Because that's what they use the image. You know how they've been doing they're doing the anniversary variants for Return of the Jedi with the number? Mm-hmm. That's probably what that one is, just minus the border. It doesn't have the border yet.
We called ahead, and I said I have a friend that really is obsessed with this weird foot playing pianist, and they went ahead and did it for us. They just went ahead.
Yeah.
So it looks like a connecting cover.
I can't. Oh, that does. I can't.
Yeah, you're right.
This singer thing bothers me though. It can't get out of my head from whenever
he's pretty bad.
I'm glad
every time I see it, I just can't do it.
I'm glad it's a one shot. That's all I can say.
So,
oh God Almighty, are you serious right now?
I found this. This is a hot toy. This is one of the hot.
You just came across it, right? Like you didn't like look for it or anything. Just a
no. I was on Big Bad Toy Store and I saw this and I was like, "Excuse me," and yeah, so that's pretty cool. Now, Obi-Wan. 1 second here. Let me get the
is he posable?
Yeah, this is the hot toy, the one you can pose them.
Yeah, they're just yeah. So before you continue, so I don't sit here and start Googling, how many hundreds of dollars is this?
So that's what I'm about to pull up for you here. So this hot toy, okay, I really like. I love. This is the anniversary for the Clone Wars, obviously the 20th anniversary.
This is Top Kenobi with the armor on. This is 100% my favorite Kenobi. Armor Kenobi.
So this one is $279.
Oh,
thank God. That's way too much.
If you scroll to the next one, you have my favorite part of this. It comes with the helmet from the 2003 one.
I have that 3-inch toy right there. I have 2 of those.
Wow. Yeah. That's the hot toy one. $279. Very cool.
Thank God I don't have $279.
Which we're gonna follow it up with another sideshow statue. This one is not
good. I don't have $2,000, so show me. That's fine.
This is the Mythos one. We're gonna see next. It's the.
Oh, I saw this. I got really excited, and so I got a really close look at his face, and it threw me off.
The face is a little weird. This one's $590. This one's also like 14 inches tall.
I'm gonna be honest. If that was like $59, I would still hesitate just because of how weird that face is.
No, this is why I would buy it though. If it was $59, go to the next slide. Cover it with the helmet.
Oh, yeah, okay, that makes more sense. Then.
Oh yeah, put a paper bag over it.
Hey, sometimes you got to put a bag on it. You know, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. You're far from home. Sometimes you got to pay for a paper bag.
Yeah. But yeah, that hot toy is fantastic.
Yeah.
It is, but I just, I don't have $300 to spend on a toy.
That's why I torture you with this.
Fine.
You could buy with $300. You could buy the materials to make the cosplay.
The funny part about it is, I watch a lot of YouTubers who collect those things, exclusively hot toys, and they always almost like they're annoyed that people complain about how much they are. Like, oh, you must be rich buying all these hot toys. And they're like, you guys can put them on basically like pay per, right? Like you can just give them a couple. And I'm like, dude, it doesn't matter if they let me pay them $10 a month. I still eventually have to pay $300 for that. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's all the same price in the end. But yeah, and then on to new comic book day releases.
But that being said, I have said though, if I had money to spend, which I don't, but if I did, and I could do it all over again, and somebody came in here and they're like, "Hey, I really like because I have a pretty decent collection of the the actual 3-inch toys," and they would buy them all and buy 90% of my comic books and give me a really price nothing's worth, and so just so I could do that. That would be something that I would probably do. I'd probably transition into, hot toys or sideshow, a little bit more. Because there's a lot of little, now the boys are fully into electronics and they don't really play with toys. They kind of just sit here now, not doing anything. So, but that's pretty cool. You're an asshole, but it's pretty cool.
So new comic day.
Cable, what is Cable doing here?
So, Bounty Hunters, issue number 30. This is the A cover on the left, the B cover in the middle, and the anniversary. This is number 2 now. 45 issues.
I'm going to just go ahead and say that you guys can love it. I don't like this. This is not a good. I feel like this is.
Yeah, these isn't a good set of covers, and it's funny that the Bounty Hunters has hit or miss cover art because the interiors are fantastic. The artist that's been doing, I can't remember his name. Mm-hmm. They look gorgeous. They're stunning.
This is okay, and this is even okay, but this is not okay. I feel like that's a buddy I have a friend, dude. He's an amazing artist. He drives amazing. That's this guy. Like that's what that is almost.
I don't know what I would choose. I'd probably just choose the one with Bosk on it. I mean,
yeah, that's the one I'd probably go with too.
Yeah,
just because Bosk is cool. Although his he got bit by a snake or something. His hand looks a little fat right there. That's kind of
a little chubby. He's a little... Talk about covers. You saying that. Here's the 2 covers that Han Solo. The one on the left, the Phil Noto one as usual. I don't even know how to describe the one on the right.
I don't know, but for some reason, Principal Solo is making me smile. Like, looks like I told you, crazy kids, about bringing the squirt guns into the school. Like, this is making me smile.
I don't think I've ever seen a cover look like that before.
That's so weird.
Random. It's not even like a second printing variant where it's interior art that they just used. It's just so weird.
Yeah, I don't know. There's going to be a lot left on the shelf, I can say. And Noto is a clear winner.
They're going to repulp that issue.
And this isn't like a knock it out of the park cover either, but it damn sure is next to this one.
And then we have 2 second printings. So Revelations, they second printed that. It's essentially the same cover, just think they changed some colors.
I don't mind this Yoda.
The Yoda one's cool. It's from an interior panel in the.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, and that's a pretty cool one.
Dude, part of me wishes I was still buying comic books. Part of me wishes I had a comic book store, honestly, because I could go in there and then I could buy it if it's there and not just go on the internet, clearly buy it. If I don't want it, I can make a better decision. But I don't have one near me. But part of me is not, because every time we do this, I can't even keep up with how many titles are out and what's coming. They're really pumping these Star Wars books out.
Well, the Revelation is just a one shot, but there's essentially there's 1, 2. How many are there? There's 1, 2, 3. There's 4 main ongoing series. There's the main Star Wars Darth Vader, Bounty Hunters, and Dr. Aphra.
Yeah.
Then you have there's number 5 now because they had Han Solo and Chewbacca. They added that as.
Then there's the mini series,
and then all the mini series. The mini series where they pick up, like you have Yoda, Obi-Wan finished, and Yoda came in at the same time. Then you have a bunch of different one shots to do.
Hidden Empire.
And then you have all the event stuff right now. Hidden Empire is the last of the events, thank God. And then you have the High Republic, which is entirely separate. Like that's they have different releases.
It still says Star Wars on it. Here's what I was thinking when he said that. When he started doing this, he made it sound like, well, it's not that bad. You got 4. 10 minutes later, you're still naming comic books and different miniseries. Like
no, because the main series, like that's all I'm at.
Well, in Han Solo, isn't Han Solo ongoing?
They've made it ongoing. Yeah, I thought it was a mini series, but it's an ongoing now. So that's number 5. Essentially, if you look at that Revelations cover right there, each one of those is an ongoing series.
There you go.
And there you go. That's the end of this. So yeah.
Oops, I did not mean to do that.
Nice.
All right. Well, I think that's it. It was fun. Next week we're going to probably do another spotlight unless we can convince
no, we are doing a spotlight. It's all done. It's all ready to go.
We're not doing this again because Omega's going to show up.
Everyone on the internet said her name too many times. It's like, what, the Candyman or something?
Beetlejuice.
Yeah, people said Beetlejuice too many times. They're like, no, we had her coming back at the 6. Let's put her right back here so that way people don't think she's not coming back. We got to put her back.
We may just get, a couple more episodes like this last one peppered in the series.
Yeah.
I will say
Kenobi Diaries in the comics.
I know that we beat it over the head, but again, one last thing. When you see this dark tone, very, very emotional, very making you think, and if the next one is Omega heavy, it's going to be so jarring going back to like shenanigans. You know what I mean? Like, all joking aside, to me, it's going to show even more that they're shoehorning something in that's just not fitting anymore. Like,
yeah,
you could make this Omega thing still like cool, but man, you could really make it where like they're like, you know what? It's getting hairy. Crosshair shooting us. We're going to have to hide her away somewhere, and then show back again where they're still training her. They're still showing how to do stuff. But this thing where they're like forcing her in these situations is just, it's going to get more and more like jarring whenever we go back to it so much, just because of how the tone is different between the two. All right. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. As always, you can watch here every Wednesday, as we said. I also have MrGarrell Gaming, which I'm still finishing up Knights of the Old Republic. Then I'm going to go straight to Knights of the Old Republic 2. And I might just end up just doing a bunch of stuff like that. And then right now on Twitch, when I stream, I'm doing Jedi Fallen Order. We're gonna play through that and get ready for the part 2 of Fallen Order. So you can watch any of those things as you want to. Follow these gentlemen on Instagram. Right there where you see is their Instagram stuff. Same thing.
Oh yeah.
And we'll catch you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Later.
See you.